Fake news.
Mr. President.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Mr. President.
I
just want to have one thing to say. Mr. President,
Very
I'm trying to just
fake.
get a word edgewise here.
Fake news put out by
Mr.
fake
President,
news.
it's
Fake
not.
news is trying to say good things
Mr. President, it's
about
not fake news just because you don't like
A few
it.
days ago, fake news called...
Enough! Each and every Tuesday, the Journey into Comics Network brings you the real news with the poor report, with the late-breaking news that really matters.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Piss off, Ghost!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics, the podcast dedicated to all things nerd, with your host, the podfather himself, Nate Phillips.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Journey into Comics. It's episode 195. I am your host, Nate, and today, joining me, you guys know him from Podcastrophe. You guys love him. It's true. You guys watch him all the time on the live feed and go, oh man, he's so handsome and dreamy. Welcome back for the first time in way too long. I can't genuinely remember the last time we've been on one-on-one here. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Dick Tyner, Dr. Dongo himself.
Hi. And it is actually confirmed now that people like me more because we had a poll. And
I know, isn't that crazy?
I won by a landslide, I'm going to say, because I did some like really, really last minute campaigning.
Yeah, I heard like Tyler was on vacation and you're like, guys, fucking vote for me. Do it.
I was winning like right off the bat. And then it became like dead even, and then he was just barely beating me. So I'm like, no. So I started sending people messages, and Only Human shared the poll and told people to vote for me. But I didn't get any votes from that. Burp. I got some zombie dust, and I'm good to go.
I voted against you, just to be honest.
You can see who votes for who. Okay,
oh, that's great.
And I'm aware of everyone that voted.
Yeah, mine was like a sympathy vote because you were whipping his ass like steadily, and I was like, let's try to tip the scales a little bit. Let's see if my one vote does anything. I don't think it did. It did not save him.
I convinced Rachel to switch her vote.
Whoa.
I was like, if you cherish our friendship at all, you will switch votes.
Yeah.
I threatened
and then she
her.
was like, okay, cool.
I outright threatened our friendship.
My back. Yeah, man. So she was like, okay, fine, fuck it. I'll change my vote.
I was in it to win it. All right.
I'll be on your side.
The stakes were high, and I wasn't fucking around. No, sir.
No, sir, at all. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting the... Anyways, okay, we're back at it. Okay. So I haven't had you on the show in a while.
No.
We had a lot of stuff going on. We are steadily moving towards LaffyCon.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I am too.
Are you also excited?
Oh, I'm very excited. Because, last year I was just the help. I was the guy that showed up and was like, yeah, I'll help. But now I'm like, we're all a family and we're all part of it. I mean, we were all a family then, but now it's like official. I'm a name. And
yeah, man, you do shit for our network.
So I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to see what comes of it, what happens during it. I'm trying my best to get things prepared for like my end, like the Podcastrophe end of things at LaffyCon. Hopefully have some stuff to sell or give to people.
Yeah.
So Miranda, she's on it. She asked me today, because we were going to order some like buttons and stuff. And Miranda's like, are we going to have time? I'm like, I think even if we ordered today, they're not going to get here in time. So she's like, I'll just get a button maker and we'll make buttons.
Boom, baller. Do it that way.
She's clutch, and she's really supportive of, and she wants to help and make things happen. So I love her.
It's crazy, man. You guys, well, of course you love her. I mean, you guys have been going steady as long as Podcastrophe's been going, pretty much.
Yes.
Around. That's crazy.
Yeah. I met her like a couple weeks after I started Podcastrophe.
So you're like, you guys just dropped episode 40.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel? What's that like? Because it's been a long time since I've been that far back, you know. So it's like perspective, you know. It's different.
You know, it's weird because like I keep wanting to touch up on these little milestones. Like we're 10 away from 50, but I don't really think about it. Like I want to, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't happen. You know?
Yeah.
Because like I don't have anything planned for episode 50. I thought about trying to make a drunk catastrophe in episode 50, but I don't know. Like the only way we'd be able to have a drunk catastrophe is over shutdown, which I don't think will be on episode 50 by then. Because then I can get drunk in the middle of the week and not give a shit.
I mean, you could do it early because I think August, September is around where you're going to be at 50. Somewhere around then, I think. Actually, like right around when the network turns 1 year old, you guys have episode 50.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
So,
I want to live stream it though, as always. So, like, I guess it would get kind of timey-wimey, as you always say, with the live stream. But it could possibly be done. It could possibly be done. We'll have to see.
what you should do is film it and then just play the footage as the live stream because you can do that on your computer, you know?
Yes.
And then people think it's the live stream. They wouldn't know any fucking better. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, very possible. I guess we wouldn't be able to react to comments.
That's true. And that is a big thing for your show. I think that's one very unique thing you guys have going on is the ability to talk to people while you're in the podcast.
Mm-hmm. A lot of shows do it differently. Like some shows have chats. Some just respond to live tweets, like tweets that they're getting as they're doing the show. I base my show a lot off of the Rooster Teeth podcast, and they do that kind of stuff all the time. They're doing polls as they do their show, which they do a live show for Rooster Teeth First members every Monday. So yeah, I've always taken a lot of inspiration off of them. And because they were the first podcast I ever listened to.
As discussed on the Voice of Survival episode 7?
I thought it was 10.
It was 10.
Yeah,
it was 10. It was 10. Again, timey-wimey. I've done a lot of those, bro. I just did that one with Lauren. That was an intense conversation.
So this comes out. This is Monday.
Monday. Yes, we are here on Monday.
We are here on Monday, and that episode was last Friday. And I want to say that was a really good episode. I enjoyed it.
Man, that's one of those things that, like, going into that story, I didn't know it. So I was like, okay, this could get, like, really way more intense than I was expecting. And it definitely did, but not in a bad way. It was just like the story kept shifting in ways I wasn't ready for. And it was like, I mean, the story's incredible. You guys heard it. Anyways, so, you know, something hasn't happened on our network since April 27th.
I know.
We are in motherfucking June, and that's almost 2 months ago, and you have not spoken a single word. And I feel like you're probably some sort of pent-up rage monster just waiting to, like, Hulk the fuck out.
Oh, you know, like somebody failed to do.
Yeah, somebody totally failed to do. Thanks, Loki, for hiding inside of Hulk.
Do you really think that's what happened?
Oh, possibly.
It is a possibility. I know that would really make Miranda happy, but
I love the finality of his death, though, honestly.
Yeah, because she's like... So, for those listening, we're talking Infinity War. I haven't said a word about Infinity War, aside from talking to Tyler about liking Deadpool 2 more than Infinity War, which is really weird. But it is what it is. So, some people are right and some people are wrong. And
you happen to be one of the right ones, right? Is that what you're saying?
I just can't in good conscience side with him on that. Like, it's so weird, like, because there's so much more to Infinity War. Like, they built up 10 years worth of story to that moment, and then Deadpool 2 is just like a continuation of the last movie 2 years ago.
And then literally gets retconned at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. I mean, technically speaking, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's weird because Infinity War came out and I saw it and I've seen it a bunch and I have like a lot of thoughts. Did you see, by the way, this fucking guy who has seen Infinity War once every day since it's come out?
Tyler mentioned something about that guy today and at work, and I just had to laugh and chuckle, and I said to him, I said, Tyler, is Infinity War the new Titanic? Because that's what they did back when Titanic was still in theaters. People would go there and watch it and keep count of how many times they saw it in theaters, and there was like people that saw it like 100 times. And I remember watching the special, or maybe it was like 10 years after Titanic. They Inside Edition. I used to watch that out at my grandparents because we had CBS and NBC and like Fox, and that was it. You know,
Love Fox
ears.
News, not
Fox News, just Fox.
just Fox.
Good old like Simpsons and
Jerry Springer and Povich.
local Fox News.
Totally. I totally vibe that.
But yeah, and I would watch Inside Edition at like 5:30 or 6 or whenever it was on, and I remember seeing a special on that.
It's really interesting because the dude has seen it every day since it's come out, and they are extending its run in theaters, which is kind of like Titanic, but it's because they're still making so much money that they can't, in good like conscience, go, okay, let's just shut this down. I mean, Black Panther ran all the way until it was out on Blu-ray. Literally, the day it dropped on Blu-ray, I think, was the last day in theaters you could see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they ran that movie forever, and this is an opportunity to like get really close to the coveted Avatar and Titanic. I mean, this extended run could put them right there in the thick of things, especially with people like, oh my God, we can see it one last time before we can't see it for at least a month. You know, so let's just get right into it, man. What did you think? What are your thoughts on this movie? Break it down for me.
So, I went into this movie with like really insane expectations, and you know, I wasn't let down whatsoever.
Totally. Totally.
I absolutely loved this movie. Like, it was honestly everything I wanted it to be. It was great how they had so much going on in all these different places, and they were just jumping from one place to the other, and it's all happening at the same time, and I just loved it. I only have one qualm with the whole movie.
Bring it on. Bring it to me. What's the qualm?
So, Children of Thanos, Proxima Midnight, and
Corvus Glaive.
They're fighting good old Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Yeah,
you know. Okay, so I guess I got two gripes.
Okay, sure.
Both have to do with that scene.
Sure.
That entire scene. Sure, it starts off slow. Whatever. I can handle that. So, out of nowhere, they're getting attacked, and Vision is just completely worthless. Like, what the hell happened? He can pick up Thor's hammer, but he is completely worthless here. Sure, he got blindsided, but still.
He got stabbed through, like, the center of his core with that weapon, Corvus Glaive's weapon, that, like, essentially, it, like, disabled him. You know, it was the kill shot that just made him fucking useless. So he's like a sack of fucking potatoes, except for he's a robot. Robot potatoes or some shit.
Robot potatoes.
Robo Tots. That's what it is.
Oh, shit.
Robo Tots. Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Oh, man. I smell an episode title.
Oh, Robo
Early
Tots is
on.
definitely it.
So
get back to it.
That's
What's
my
your
minor
qualm?
gripe. That's my minor gripe. My other qualm gripe is, once again, same scene. They're fighting, and out of nowhere, here comes Cap and Black Widow and Falcon to save the day. You know, mostly regular people aside from Cap, and Black Widow and Falcon are just whooping ass against these super aliens. Like, what? It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense at all.
I kind of agree with that, because there's a little bit of like, okay, Cap is there. You see at the end of the movie that Scarlet Witch is hands down the most powerful Avenger. I don't care what anybody says.
Clearly. Yes.
I mean, she's like, here, let me kill my boyfriend. Also hold Thanos back. Like, it ain't no fucking thing. She almost succeeds in doing so.
Yeah.
And then time gets turned backwards and she has no hope,
And Vision has to die twice. Like, he has to experience that twice. Do you think he realizes that it's already happened? Or
No way. The way the time stone works, think back to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you're
if you're not like tapped into strange moving time like how Wong was, like then you don't even know that it's happening.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think that also it's funny that Wong just like says peace the fuck out, guys. Like, I'm gonna go back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. You guys go fight Thanos. I'm not doing it. I understand my role. I know what's up.
Yeah, he's just like, peace out. They mentioned that on the Rooster Teeth podcast last week or this week, one of the two, and they just mentioned how he's like, fuck this, peace out. I'm gonna go guard my shit.
This movie had a lot of amazing scenes. I'm curious, of all the scenes in the movie, like, what's your every fucking time you think about it, you're like, fuck yes.
I get a lot of chills from a lot of thinking about a lot of the scenes. The big scene that does it for me. I mean, cool. You have your post snap. You got that, and everybody at the atmosphere of the movie changes. And it like much like right now, like it just got really quiet.
Yeah, and like soft and upset. Yeah.
All you hear is like leaves blowing in the trees, and then everything's
thunder.
quiet.
The thunder rumbling is what gets me.
Yeah,
it's like really unsettling.
Mm-hmm. But I would say that's a close second. Like the moment, like that entire end sequence. But the first one that got me was Gamora's death, the Soul Stone.
Man,
what a powerful scene! Powerful scene.
The scene is powerful, but it's also like, I think that scene holds a 1-2 punch. They do such a great job of holding like where the Soul Stone is close to the chest. You don't see any teasers of anything in the trailers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So when it comes down to it, you get to this point where you're in that scene and boom, you get your first real shocker of the movie, in my opinion, is the Red Skull reveal.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy fucking shit, man. Whoa. Like, I wasn't actually expecting them to do that. Like, I had called out how cool it would be for Thanos to bring the Masters of Evil to the movie and have, like, Thanos, Loki, Red Skull, Ultron, running rampant and whatnot, which did not happen. But Red Skull appearing was awesome, and then it gave him purpose, But then, of course, the power that would, you're talking about it with Gamora's death is just...
Oh yeah, because she's laughing. She thinks she's won. And then Thanos turns around and he's got tears rolling, and it's like that. And it's a powerful scene because it just shows you the depth of Thanos. Like he loves Gamora. Like she is his child, and despite like not actually being his child, and kind of torturing her and shit throughout her life. But like he loves her and he knows what he has to do, and he is so strong in his convictions that he's willing to make that sacrifice to go forward with his plan, and it's nuts to me.
He just throws her. It's crazy because you think back to Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's Thanos' first, like Josh Brolin as Thanos' first full real appearance, and he goes, "You isolated my favorite daughter, Gamora." And then ultimately, he isolates his favorite daughter, Gamora, by effectively killing her. But she's just, in my opinion, trapped in the Soul Stone. There's a way around that. That's comic book knowledge for you folks. If he went and talked to her when Thor put that fucking axe in his chest, like, She's still there. Don't worry. And the reason she looked young is because that's the image of her that he loves. That's what he sees in his daughter when he looks at Gamora. He doesn't see the adult who's angry and who has tried to kill him on multiple occasions and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, he sees his little girl, and it's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah, and we get multiple scenes with that are just powerful like that. I mean, you get the whole Peter Quill and like when he's goes to kill her, like.
Oh man, because he lives. Listen, okay, and granted, he's affected by the snap. He lives with that, man. He lives with the I was gonna kill her in cold blood because I had to do it. He lives in his conscience that he pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
that's like fucked up psychological, like damaging. That's how dope Thanos is in a fucking weird way because he gets everybody on a level that you're not really expecting. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but there's a very interesting line that T'Challa says when they are getting ready to do like the big running sequence against all the Outriders.
Yeah,
and he says, "All Thanos will have is blood and dust."
Ooh.
Like Thanos coming to Wakanda, all Thanos will have is blood and dust, and I mean literally gets blood because all the children of Thanos die. And dust because the snap happens and dust.
Man.
It's so fucking deep foreshadowing. It's crazy. And there's like so much of that little shit in there, you know?
Tangent, but not a tangent.
Bring it on. I love tangents. That's what this show was built on.
So, last year, I watched a good old show on Netflix called 13 Reasons Why.
Okay, I've heard about this show. I've heard it's like really fucking psychologically fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it touches on a lot of really deep issues in a very sometimes extreme way just to illustrate like what could happen and sometimes in a very realistic way. I really enjoyed the show. Yes, there were some moments in that show that were a bit much, but you know, I'm an adult. I can handle this shit. I got a strong stomach.
You can separate
fast
yourself
forward a year,
knowing that it's a
Miranda
TV
and I,
show.
we've been watching season 2. It's on Netflix. It is a Netflix show. But we've been watching season 2, and we finish it. And throughout the entire series, like the main character that it's about, she's dead. She's dead. She committed suicide. And so at the end of season 2, spoilers for anybody who wants to watch this show, they're finally holding a funeral service like 8 months after it happened because the parents were too ashamed to do it at the time. So they're finally holding one, and the main character that we've been following the whole time, this season, he's been kind of seeing her ghost, but it's just like a mental thing and is going on. And he's basically giving a speech at her funeral, and he essentially says goodbye and lets her go in that moment. Really, really deep and touching. But we're watching this. Miranda and I we're laying in my bed. We're watching this. It's completely quiet, completely serious. We're into this, and I just raise my hand, and as he's saying goodbye, and she kind of camera's focusing on her. I just snap my finger.
Yes. Oh my God. That's
I
perfect.
go, like a dust fading away.
Oh, that's fucking great.
And she just punches me in the side like, God damn it.
You took the serious all the way out of the moment.
I had an opportunity and I took it. Okay. It's not very often that I have such a great opportunity at being funny. So I had to take it.
When you get the setup, you have to. I mean, there's no questions. Here's an interesting thing to talk about Infinity War deep inside of all the little thoughts and stuff in my mind. Did you see the thing about Mantis?
No. What thing about Mantis?
Okay, so this is going to fuck with your brain hole. So back in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ego is showing Peter all of the life forms he essentially banged to try to create a Peter Quill, someone strong enough to have the celestial light within that could be human or, a species, let's not necessarily say human, but a species and part celestial, right? So Peter Quill definitely is the son of Ego. Mm-hmm. Here's one for you. Mantis is the daughter of Ego, and guess what? Quill and Mantis are brother and sister, and it has been confirmed by James Gunn.
Really?
They might not necessarily realize it yet, but while they may not realize it, check this out. So you zoom in on the thing that shows all the different people, and Ego is definitely with one of the species that Mantis is, right? They even went so far as they cast her mom. Ultimately, the footage wasn't used, but they cast Mantis's mom for a scene specifically with Ego. Ego says he keeps her around because her powers help him sleep. Really, she's also one of his children, meaning, unbeknownst right now to Peter Quill, that Mantis is his sister, and man, have they endured some shit.
Yeah. For the record, your video is frozen and it has been for a while, so
Okay.
I can't see.
Well,
but that's okay.
okay.
That's okay.
I can fix that. I'll just reset the video.
I was like, oh, you disappeared.
Am I
There
back?
you are. You're back. I see you. I mean, you're just frozen in the same spot. You kind of looked like, what's his name? Robert De Niro in Awakenings. Like,
Oh, I thought you said I was gonna look like William Murderface, and I was like, son of a bitch, you motherfucker.
have you ever seen that movie Awakenings?
No.
It's
No, I
it's
have not.
Robin Williams, Robert De Niro, and maybe some other people. But
Robert Downey Jr.? Robin Hood?
You wish. I wish.
Robin Thicke?
So it's a movie about Robin Williams supposedly has a cure for some disease that like all these people in this one mental institution have, where they just basically stopped functioning, and like they're basically vegetables, but like they're just asleep essentially.
Okay.
So I think it's a true story too. It's what's weird, but
Do you need me to go to the Google machine on this one?
do it. I'm pretty sure it's called Awakenings.
Awakenings movie.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a really cool theory about Mantis, or I guess not theory, since it's been confirmed. But yeah,
check
I did
it out.
not know that.
Awakenings is a 1990 American drama film based on Oliver Sacks' 1973 memoir of the same title. It tells the story of Malcolm Sayer, who, in 1969, discovered beneficial effects of the drug L-Dopa. He administered it to catatonic patients who survived the 1917 through 28 epidemic of, I'm not going to try to fucking say that word, but it's encephalitis lethargica. Leonard Lowell and the rest of the patients were awakened after decades and have to deal with a new life in a new time. Whoa, it's like legit time travel. Holy shit.
Yes. Yeah, like because like when they came to, they were they just basically woke up from that exact moment that they went to sleep.
Whoa.
So they were essentially frozen in time mentally.
Holy shit, that's crazy. That would be a crazy thing to experience. Mm-hmm. Like Captain America.
Definitely a good watch. Definitely a good watch.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to check that out. So back to Infinity War, because I've got more like thoughts and theories, and I'm sure you do too also as well, and I can't wait to hear them. Did I tell you my Doctor Strange thing and why him giving up the Time Stone is the most important move in the movie?
No, you did not.
I alluded to it. Okay. So obviously there's some things you think about when you think about what Doctor Strange says to Tony Stark. He says, we're in the end game now. Tony, it was the only way, right? The reason being is, and this is important, the cloak that Doctor Strange wears, his cloak of levitation, disappears with him. It is an item that is a fixture of his person, right?
Yes.
As is the Eye of Agamotto. He always has it on, okay? Mm-hmm. So, in seeing that the snap would happen, inevitably, if he refuses in that moment to give up the Time Stone and Thanos gets it by other means and maybe, let's say, kills Doctor Strange permanently, the Eye of Agamotto might have disappeared with his body. Therefore, the Time Stone would have been lost forever. It would have created a paradox.
Well, in order for the snap to happen, he would have to have the Time Stone.
Correct. Therein lies the paradox. And we know that paradoxes can happen in Doctor Strange's world because he could have created infinite time loops.
Yes.
Think of the end of Strange, obviously, right? So it's possible that he knows that there are all these different possible end games, but that is essentially the shifting factor. Giving up the stone for survival because you have to let Thanos think that he win. Like Thanos goes, oh, I won. I fucking did it. I got everybody. But that's ultimately going to be his downfall too, I think. But anyways, back to it. More thoughts on the movie from you, my friend.
Oh, man. My thoughts are so scattered, especially since it's been like months since I saw it. I saw it twice. Once with Tyler.
Did you see it in 3D at all?
No, and I wish I would have saw it in IMAX.
I think you still can.
Probably won't. But
You're like, I probably won't, but yeah. Totally.
I have a tendency. I'll rarely see a movie twice in theaters. This one, I mostly just wanted Miranda to see it. Which,
Ooh, how was that?
oh man, she really liked it, and oh boy, I will tell you all about her experience, our experience together.
Sure, please do.
So right off the bat, she's pissed because her favorite
Loki's
character
dead.
in all of this is Loki. Yes, and I'll get to that post movie, and then so fast forward to the intro to Guardians.
Okay.
She's seeing all these people and they're having a good time, you know that, and she leans over to me, and I said this in our group chat.
Oh yeah.
She
I
leans
remember
over to
this.
me and says, "I have no idea who these people are," and I'm like, and
Oh
I
my
start
God.
like, oh my God, I was so angry.
Cringe, instant cringe,
and like
right?
I know I probably ruined some people's experience watching this movie, but I start like freaking out. I'm like, how you not seen? You haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy? And she's
That's
like,
amazing.
"No, I thought
I
those
wish
were
somebody would
different
have caught
movies."
that on tape. I wish
like,
somebody
"No, I
would have
thought
had
these-
like.
She thought these were different. She thought the Guardians of the Galaxy movies were part of. She's like, I can't remember what movies, but I know it's a certain movie, and she starts describing it, and as she describes it more and more, this is post movie, by the way. She says, I interrupt her. I'm like, did you think that Guardians of the Galaxy was part of Percy Jackson?
Oh my God.
And she's like, she looks it up and she goes, yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
So question, have you
Yeah.
rectified the situation yet?
Yes, we immediately that conversation happened on our way home. I think we went and got Wendy's, and because it was late and we needed food. I needed food. I don't know how she lives, but I need food.
Brain fuel.
Yes. So she looks it up, Percy Jackson. I'm like, we are going home and we are watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care how fucking late I'm up tonight. This is the weekday. I had to work. I had to be up at 5 a.m. to go into work. But I was like, I don't care how late. I'll be miserable tomorrow. We're watching Guardians of the Galaxy tonight. It's important.
It is important. Fuck yeah. And she loved it.
Yes.
And she cried
then-
when Groot said, "We are Groot."
I don't
She
know.
cried.
I didn't.
No, well, yeah.
I don't have
she
much.
did.
I don't have much connection to Groot. That's me though. So following Friday, we finished up and watched Guardians 2. She enjoyed that one, so she's
And
caught
then
up on
everything
those.
became so much clearer.
I was like, Guardians 2 isn't as important to Infinity War as the first one is, because it's more important that you're introduced to these characters. Like,
Well,
that was-
it's very important that you're introduced to Mantis, though. I
Yes.
think her power
Yes.
is super important to what happens in Infinity War, obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure. But also we got into an argument over. She's like, he can't be dead. Loki can't be dead. I'm like, he's pretty fucking dead, bro. She goes, he can't. I'm like, dude, he's fucking dead. Like he is.
There are no resurrections this time.
He is definitely fucking dead. Like he
He's
is
fucking
more
dead.
than dead. He is fucking dead. Like he got his trachea crushed. Like he is dead.
Definitively. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, he can't be dead. They can't make another Thor movie without him. I'm like, yes, they can. It's called Thor. Not Loki. Women.
Man, no, the thing is, okay, so the Loki thing, right? It's interesting to me because Thanos says no resurrections this time. Mm-hmm. But there are some really interesting things at play. So, like, one thing that's at play is Heimdall using the dark power to send Hulk back to Earth. We already know, right, that Loki can, like, split his body and like create mirages of himself. Full acting just like him things, right?
Yeah.
So what if as soon as you have to assume we don't know what happened to Thanos actually getting onto the Asgardian ship. But you have to assume that when that happened, like Tessa Thompson's character Valkyrie and Korg and Mike got the like half of the Asgardians that are going to survive for sure and took them the fuck away. Because we didn't see them. There were no confirmations of death, right? So it could have been possible.
With them?
Well, no. It will maybe, and then had Loki pretending to be someone else because you've seen him also.
That's a theory I've seen.
Act as someone else, correct? Because he even played Captain America in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, that's
Shout
a
out to the
theory
worst
I've
MCU
seen.
movie.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, do you think that's possible though? I mean, it'd be genius.
I can see it. I kind of just want to take it as it is, and let that death be a thing. I mean, I like Loki. I enjoy his character. I enjoy what he's brought to the MCU, but I also I think it makes it that much more meaningful when they do die.
Yes,
So,
because we haven't had. I mean, even Coulson's death wasn't permanent.
No.
Through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So having these people, certain characters, like, I feel pretty certain we'll get Vision back. Like, Shuri will have a file of him. She closes the file before Corvus Glaive actually attacks her. So she has the full copy. So it's very possible that she could use Vibranium to replicate the Mind Stone, I guess.
Hey, Tony, I got Jarvis back. He's just Jarvis again, and he's pissed about it.
Hello, sir. I did better as Dryden Voss.
I was disappointed in that character too. But we're on Infinity War right now.
Totally. Okay, so what was the hardest death for you to witness in that movie?
Oh, probably Gamora.
Yeah, definitely Gamora.
Definitely Gamora. And it was hard, but I mean, I don't know. It was really difficult to watch, but at the same time, I absolutely loved it. I loved all those heart-wrenching moments because that's stuff I live for, is things that make me feel. I've said it a million times. Things that make me feel are the best.
Yeah, man. I think after my multiple rewatches of Infinity War and knowing now what Groot's last word was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, it makes it so hard to watch that scene because he's just looking at Rocket going, Dad, and then just fucking getting taken away. Mm-hmm. I've seen they had a bunch of set pictures and stuff, and it's pretty much confirmed that we're going to have some timey-wimey stuff going on in the next Avengers where they end up back in New York during the Battle of New York.
Interesting.
Except for Ant-Man's there this time. And also Tony is one of the, because they can bring him back there, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we can talk about is Ant-Man and the Wasp could very easily introduce the idea that in the quantum realm, you can time jump without even touching time.
Yes.
Which is fucking weird. Mm-hmm. But it can totally be a link. And that's also a link to the Soul World, I think, could be.
Yeah. I want to mention something I don't believe, because I've tried to keep up on all the Infinity War talk across the network, mostly so when I finally did get to talk to you about it, because I was supposed to be part of that original Infinity War episode, but it just didn't work out. But
didn't, and it bummed me the fuck out.
I know.
What we worked with was really interesting. How I made it work was interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I was kind of happy I wasn't on it. I was bummed, but I was happy because I wanted one more watch of the movie before I said anything about it. But one thing I don't think anything that's been really discussed, and it's just a really small thing that I kind of giggled about from knowing just a little bit of the comics that I do know, is the scene with Nebula, where she's stuck in suspended animation.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, is this like an homage to the fucking, like, her being a statue, like a tortured, melted statue?
Well, yeah, because in the comics, during the actual Infinity Gauntlet storyline, it's really weird how that storyline plays out because Nebula gets turned into literally like a walking zombie. Mm-hmm. She is literally just forced to walk in the same pattern as this same being all the time. But ultimately, it's Nebula that starts the defeat of Thanos.
Yeah.
And man, I would love it would be so much payoff to that character if Karen Gilligan or whatever from Doctor Who end up with the Infinity Gauntlet as Nebula, even just for a fucking minute,
Yeah. That'd be cool. I like Nebula. I like her character throughout the series a lot. Especially in Guardians 2, like, wow. The emotion she put out when, like, basically having that heart-to-heart with Gamora. That was cool.
Oh, you kept winning and never stopping, never faltering, and he kept taking parts from me. Oh, my God, it's so epic. Another scene from that movie with Nebula that makes me just fucking giggle is the scene with Kraglin when he's like, what are you going to buy? And she's, talks about how she's going to go find Thanos and kill him. And he's like, yeah, I thought you were going to buy a hat. Something make the girls go, ooh, that's nice. You know, like that shit cracks me up.
He cracked me up. That's James Gunn's brother, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. He also is the mocap for Rocket.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because Bradley Cooper's not going to mocap Rocket,
He should. It'd be funny.
Well, Bradley Cooper's too A-list, too
He's
A-list
in a new movie coming out with Lady Gaga.
Really?
And it looks really good. It's called A Star is Born.
Interesting.
It's got him, I believe I saw Terrence Howard in it, Lady Gaga, and I can't remember anybody else, but it looks really good. I think I may have shared the trailer. I'm not sure. There's been a lot of good trailers. I mean, we got the Bumblebee trailer.
Oh, I forgot. We haven't even. Yeah, are we? Do you have more to say about Infinity War before we move on? Because I felt like that was a beautiful segue. I don't want to take advantage of.
I'm good. I'm content.
Okay, well, we can always come back to it. Yeah, we're going to keep talking about Infinity War. Trust me, the conversation is not going to stop here. So
it doesn't stop.
Honestly, man, I saw the Bumblebee trailer initially. Like, I saw that they shared it, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I could give two shits about this dumb fucking movie. Quit making Transformers movies. And then I actually watched it, and I was like, holy shit, that looks really cool. I'm, like, actually excited to see it. I was totally misled. I thought that John Cena was going to be the good guy in this movie, and it seems he is totally not the good guy. He's like the bad dude, which is awesome. So
I didn't even see him in the trailer.
Really? He's the lead general. He's the lead general.
Nate.
What? Oh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Fuck,
I stole
got
that
me.
joke. We were at lunch.
You can't see me, you motherfucker.
Yeah, we were at lunch and Tyler brought it up. Brando had already seen it, and he made the joke, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't even see John Cena in the trailer," and it went over my head then, but Tyler got it right away. Took a couple seconds for Joe, and then Brandon just starts chuckling. And I'm like,
"Man,
oh
good.
god damn it!" Because I was also like doing my own thing while listening to them talk, but I was like, "Oh man, that was bad."
Yeah, for Transformers movies, I kind of stopped watching them a while ago, but this is one that kind of draws me in. Like, I would actually probably check this movie out.
Mm-hmm. The Last Night wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as Age of Extinction or Dark of the Moon, but And I guess they're all not the best anyways, but last
I
night
didn't hate the first one.
I didn't either. I liked
And Revenge
the
of the
second
Fallen
one more.
wasn't that bad either. I mean, let's
I liked
be
it
real.
more than the first, mostly because in the first movie, I was so pissed off about all the Transformer fights. I was like, oh, cool, up close grinding gears. That's awesome. Next movie.
Man, the Transformer noise, too.
Yeah. And then next movie, oh, shit, you can actually see them duking it out and fighting. And it's not up close, super, like seeing all the gears turning and grinding up against each other and sparks flying. And I was like, oh, cool, I can actually see what's going on. This is what I want.
You know, another trailer came out. I don't know what you thought about this one, but the Into the Spider-Verse trailer 2 dropped.
Yes.
And it seems that, like, Miles Morales is now in the Spideyverse 616, so he's, like, where regular Peter Parker is, but he's not the only one, and it seems like they're bringing, like... I loved the art style of the thing. Like, it had some comic book, like, pals and stuff and whatnot that were really cleverly done.
Yeah.
And, like, the animation's really nifty as well.
Yeah, it's kind of got, like, the sluggish... like animated style, like the motion of it is, but it works.
It almost reminds me of Kubo and the Two Strings.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
You should. It's very good.
I've heard. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Yeah.
So I might have to check that out. But yeah, it was cool, and I almost immediately recognized Peter Parker's voice. I can't remember his name, but he was in Jurassic World. He played the guy. I think his name's Nick in real life, but he played this guy that he had the original Jurassic Park shirt on and all the collectible action figures on his desk. They gave him shit for it. Like,
I thought his name was Jack Johnson.
I'll
You look it up. You Google machine this one.
Yes.
Okay, so
I'll look up the actual IMDb for Into the Spider-Verse.
Smart, super smart. It's cool because we don't just get the Miles Morales thing. At the end of the trailer, we get the reveal of Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Like
Jake Johnson, by the way.
Jake Johnson, not Jack Johnson. Jake.
And Liev Schreiber. Wow.
Who's he playing?
Morlun.
Whoa, they're doing the Morlun storyline? Okay, so Morlun, that's fucking awesome. Okay, Morlun is from the Into the Spider-Verse storyline that came out a couple years ago, like 2015, I think. And Morlun is essentially this dude. His family lives off the energy of people who have the spider power. And he travels interdimensionally to find spider people and steal them of their life force. He essentially utilizes Madam Web as like the launch point to use and to break through the Spider-Verse and find all these different people. And it's crazy because in that storyline, there are hundreds of Spider-Men from different universes. Yeah. It's like one of them is Ben Parker. Like Peter got shot and killed that night and Ben becomes Spider-Man. But he's old and kind of not really that good at being a superhero. He's just trying his damnedest, you know, but he's like a little sluggish. And then there's like Spider-Punk and Spider-Pig and fucking...
Spider-Pig.
The British Spider, I think, is one of them. And there's like the Japanese Spider-Man. They even have nods to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in the comic universe, making them essentially canon.
Okay, so I'm going to say this real quick.
Sure.
This is just... I type in Into the Spider-Verse cast, and that's what Google gives me at the very top. It's their list. I go to IMDb, and it's a different list because I just happen to notice Jake Johnson is listed as the Kingpin on the Google one, and then I go to IMDb, and it says Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Liev Schreiber, however, is the Kingpin.
Oh, ooh, that's interesting casting.
And I don't see Morlun anywhere on this, on IMDb.
Damn it! Oh, I hope they
but
do
it would
that
make
storyline.
sense.
It would be cool.
After what you just told me, it makes sense. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he is in it. Maybe I don't know.
Oh man, that story is really fucking cool, dude. It's a really great read. I think I can get you access to that through my Marvel account if you're ever looking to read some comics and get like dive deep into that. Because Into the Spider-Verse, that story is awesome. They did a like 5-book intro before that called Edge of Spider-Verse, which introduced your Gwen Stacy, who is alive in the universe, not dead. Spider-Gwen, yeah. And like that's shocking again. Parker died, she lived, she survives Pete and becomes the female Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm stoked for that movie, and I feel like people are like, it's probably not going to do that good, but I think I'll go see it in theaters, honestly. I think it would be worth it to see it in the theaters.
Oh, definitely. I'll go see it.
Like Incredibles 2 that's next week.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's next week. Shit.
Oh, yes, it is.
I wish Miranda's kids were old enough to take to the movies. I mean, they're 4 and 5, but it's just like,
Oh, that's a stress and a fear.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there
Don't
like,
cry,
man,
don't scream, don't have a tantrum.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I want to take them so that they can enjoy this awesome movie, but I want to be selfish and be like, I want to enjoy this movie. So, yeah.
Totally. I totally vibe that, man. We took
We're gonna wait.
Ollie to see Spider-Man Homecoming when he was like just turned 4, I think, or just turned 3 maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. 2017, last year. He was just turned 4. Yeah, because he'll turn 5 this year. So we took him to the movies for the first time, and it was like really good. And then we just found out last weekend that his dad took him to see Infinity War in theaters.
Interesting.
He sat through the whole fucking movie. Ollie loved it.
Man.
Thought it was great.
Maverick, Miranda's son, he is super into the Marvel characters. Like, he's gone from he was obsessed. He's still pretty obsessed with Captain America, but he's been getting into the Flash, so going over to DC. But he's a big fan of the Flash. He's a big fan of Black Panther. She told him that I got Black Panther, and he's like, "Oh my god, he needs to bring it over." So we can all watch it. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll watch Black Panther with you, buddy.
Funny that you say that. I watched that with my dad yesterday. It was the last Marvel movie he hadn't seen. He saw Infinity War before he saw Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you, my dad's like kind of old school, so he's real hit or miss with movies. Either he's going to get like hooked immediately, or he's going to be like, I'm not fucking interested, turn this shit off. Which he
That's
did
how I am
initially
with my dad.
With Doctor Strange, my dad's like, turn this shit off, I don't want to watch it. And I was like, no, trust me, it's really good. And like we gave it a second watch and he liked it. But we watched we watched Black Panther last night, and he was just glued to the TV, just like watching with his jaw almost like open, like, holy shit, this story's incredible. And yeah, it's totally incredible. I even noticed a super tiny Easter egg. I don't know if anybody's even brought it up, but in T'Chaka's brother's apartment in Compton, where the movie essentially starts. So Killmonger's dad, right? Who's with Zuri. Yeah. There's a Super Nintendo chilling in the background.
Oh yeah, nice.
I saw it last night. I was like, oh shit. They were rocking an SNES, stealing vibranium.
That was my first console.
Me also. Well, no, technically my parents had the regular NES, but the first console that I like fell in love with was the Super Nintendo.
That was my first one handed down to me from my uncle.
Sweet. Fuck yeah. I played games like 10 Star.
I played Jurassic Park.
Oh my god, that game on Super Nintendo is awful, but also amazing if you can figure it out.
Yeah, I did.
Like you can get to like World 3. I was pretty good at World 3. Like, but then I think World 3 is when they introduce the Raptors, and then you get fucking just slaughtered. You have no chance.
Yeah, I was like 4 or 5 years old and didn't understand at all. But no, I could play. I had Super Mario, whichever. I can't remember which one, but I had that. I think, and then he got a Nintendo 64. So then I got introduced to like Clay Fighter and
63 and a third.
Man, my uncle got, because he's only 5 years older than me, so we were basically raised together, and he would get all the gaming consoles. Like he had a Sega Dreamcast, so I got to play Sonic Adventure and Ready to Rumble, Crazy Taxi, all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
Fun.
How old are you again?
I'm 27.
Okay, so he's 32 then?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 1 year older than me. Cool. Because it was just like everything you were saying, like, oh, I got that system too. Oh, I love that game. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, cool. Groovy. One of my favorite games, I don't know if you ever got an opportunity to play it for the Nintendo 64, was Pokemon Stadium.
Yes, I had both of them.
Oh, man. Gold and Silver Edition was so hard.
Yeah.
Dude, but I had a super hack for that. If you used a Pelican on your Game Boy, you could give yourself a Snorlax level 100 and teach him Explode. And in the OG game of Pokemon Stadium, you could get to Mewtwo and explode with Snorlax, and he would leave 1 life and kill Mewtwo.
Huh.
It was a little glitch thing that you could do if you had a Pelican, which my parents
What's a Pelican?
were like, okay, so you could buy a Pelican, and it was a cartridge that you would put in your Game Boy Color, and then you'd put your game cartridge in that, and it was a cheat thing.
So it was like a Game Shark.
It was the Game Shark, yeah, essentially,
Okay.
but it was called the Pelican specifically, was like the style. But yeah, it was a Game Shark. And it would just essentially open up the code, and you could just select whatever you wanted and change your code to however you fucking wanted, and then start playing the game. So once I devastated red and blue and yellow using trades with my cousin, we just traded all the fucking time and got all the Pokemon except for fucking Mew. I finally got the Pelican out and was like, okay, let's party. Let's do this. Let's play and have some fun and get some weird shit. But back to it, man. We're in a fucking weird real world, Dick.
Yeah.
It's not all happy smiles and robotators.
Not always, no.
It's fucking crazy because like the topic of suicide is so hard to even talk about and discuss, but it's like unavoidable at this point to not bring it up and go like, okay, a couple things are happening here. Either we have an epidemic where people just can't take it anymore and people are just going, there's an easier way out, or some other shit's going on with our celebs because Anthony Bourdain, man, dead at 61, death by hanging.
Yeah.
The second death by hanging suicide this week. Well, last week for those of you listening on launch day. Okay. So Kate Spade first, and then now Anthony Bourdain, they are totally not affiliated with each other, you could think. There's no similarity, right? There's nothing that they can quantify. But then I read this little interesting article that they are both, in some way, they were both involved with the Harvey Weinstein case. Anthony Bourdain being the boyfriend of this lady who's like at the head of the, trial because she's the first one that really came out and like said this is what's been fucking happening for years. And then Anthony Bourdain made some really awful comments, straight up calling him a crazy pedophile and all this shit on Twitter and whatnot. Anthony Bourdain just being kind of filtered or non-filtered self. But then Katie Spade saying that like she has some involvement too. I'm not a huge like conspiracy theorist guy typically. There's maybe one or two that get my brain meats pumping of like what could happen.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm like, yeah, okay, shit is pretty face value. This does not feel face value, man. It's fucking weird. I feel like Anthony Bourdain had it all. He had an 11-year-old daughter. Like, why is he leaving that behind? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, you look at, go back a year to Chester, and he had, I think, 6 kids. I want to say 6
5 or
kids.
6, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Well, and that's another thing to bring up. I mean, to talk about Chester is, and I was saying this off air earlier, is like he and Chris Cornell have a similar connection other than death by suicide, hanging.
Yeah.
Which is that they were trying to expose some pedophiles in Hollywood. So what the fuck's going on here, man?
It's weird. And, like I've never really been much of a conspiracy guy. So I have a hard time believing that something like that would be a thing. Maybe that's just me being naive and wanting to think that the world isn't like that, that there aren't people out there that would do such a thing. And as much as I would rather believe that than one of my favorite singers, two of my favorite singers, going and
did I lose
themselves. You? Oh no, did you lose me? Can you hear
Nope.
me?
Nope, I'm here. You're here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
I'm
you.
here.
Cool.
But
So say that last thing again. Sorry.
I want to believe that there's. This is gonna sound fucked up. I'd rather believe that they were murdered than they killed themselves, but at the same time, I want to stand in a real world. Or maybe I think I said the opposite of that. I can't remember now. But like it's harder for me to believe that there's a murderer out there rather than them hanging themselves. Because I'm a huge believer in mental illness and all that. You know that. And so it's just weird to me to think that there's some conspiracy out there like that.
I know, man. It's. I guess the thing is, it's like follow the trail. You know, it's one of those things you got to follow the trail. And my thing is, if in like 2 months or in like a week or some shit, another celebrity death by hanging happens, and they have anything to do with Harvey Weinstein, it's gonna be hard to ignore when it's 3 at that point. You know, it goes from becoming. I mean, at some point, what are we taught? Coincidence, consistent coincidence becomes fact. You know, it stops becoming coincidence and it becomes law, as it were. So it's fucking crazy, man. I just like genuinely, if you're listening to this and you struggle with mental health problems and you've thought about killing yourself and you've been through some shit, reach out, man. Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Reach out to the hotlines. Fucking, I don't care. Like I
Reach
think
out to
that,
anyone.
And I mean, I know that's a super cliche thing. Like, oh, I'm hurting and I'm suffering. I'm going to reach out to somebody and they're not going to fucking understand. And I'm going to still want to hurt myself. But you need to think about the consequences in the other people too, because the picture's much bigger than you. And honestly, man, like, oh, sure, you kill yourself. Great. You've solved your problems and you've created 50 fucking more for the people you left behind. And that's the thing that's just hard to swallow. That's the thing that's like, man, I don't want to see people go through that shit, man, at all. It's like for real.
Yeah,
it's
same.
Unfortunate.
Same.
Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to totally shift gears here. Non-comic book yet again. Also, I forgot to mention that the dude that like went to Infinity War every time, like he's been to every day of the week or every day that the movie's been out, he's went and seen it in theaters. They invited him to the Avengers 4 premiere.
Oh, wow.
Motherfucker.
That's so much money to be spending.
Yeah. Like $15 a day.
Yeah. Like you can only use your movie pass on it once.
At this point, yeah, they totally fucked everybody, right?
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but I mean, I kind of get it. They're trying to, the whole purpose of Movie Pass is to get people to see more movies, to encourage people to see more movies. They're not technically seeing more movies if they go to see the same movie over and over again with it. So I get it, kind of, but fuck them.
I vibe that.
AP is really concerned about your cat right now.
AP's concerned about my cat?
Yeah, he popped in our group chat, says, "Is your cat okay?"
Why?
Oh, gotta love that guy.
Did I miss something?
Well, you said emergency. You had some emergency cat shit to clean up.
Yeah. The emergency cat shit. Yeah, it was rage poops. That's the thing those cats do when they are unhappy with a certain thing. Like if we didn't clean the litter box in time, or if we didn't feed them at the right time, they'll just find a hidden spot and they'll go shit there. Like, fuck you, man. Now you got to clean my shit.
Oof.
It's like, man, that's rude. I walked into the litter room and I was like, something smells afoot in here. Well, it actually smelled like ass, but anyways. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I looked behind the chair and I was like, oh, motherfucker, I got to clean this mess up. So I did. And that was like right when I'm like in the middle of finding this situation out. And I look at my phone and I'm like, Dick's going to be on the podcast in like 5 minutes. Holy shit, he's going to be ready. And you said, okay, actually miscalculated, going to be a few more minutes. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Magnificent timing.
Had to get me some Subway.
Yeah,
way
some
home.
way of the sub.
Yeah, I was on my way home from. I was practicing with Only Human. I'm singing 2 songs with them tomorrow night, which will be 2 nights ago. Yeah, it's for the Doom Room 5th anniversary show.
Which is also their benefit show.
Yes.
Because they had a fucking ridiculous tragedy. Are you kidding me?
But they're back on their feet. They still need another member. They need another guitarist or 2. But they're doing all they can. Luckily, their singer Shane, he started out as their guitarist singer, so
Just reverted back to an old way.
yeah. I mean, they had 2 other guitarists, and he was just doing vocals only, and he liked it that way. But then both of their guitarists just dropped off, which sucks. But
Man.
like I said, they're making the best out of their situation. I can't wait to perform with them tomorrow. I think I'm going to totally suck because Miranda has gotten me sick. I know it. I know it to be true.
Because the little kids got her sick.
I don't think so. She doesn't know where she got it from. But she had a sore throat earlier this week. My throat is feeling odd, and I've been rather lethargic today. So...
Sound great on the podcast, man. You sound
why?
great on the
Thank you.
podcast. That wasn't sarcasm either. You sound awesome. So I actually did not know you were sick. I was like,
No,
fuck,
I
man.
don't think I'm not sick yet, but I feel it coming on.
You feel the storm a coming.
I feel the storm a coming, sir. But
That's
rough seas ahead. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun. They're playing last, so I gotta watch my alcohol consumption.
Totally, yeah. You can't get shit-faced bombed,
Nope.
because then,
I can
then you'll
always
be like,
I can always pull a. Yeah, I'm not singing. Joke's on you. I tricked you. They don't need me, but it's always fun to go up and
yeah,
sing with a
you
friend's
like
band.
helping those guys out. Those
Oh
are your
yeah,
dudes.
it's a blast. And normally I only sing 1 song with them, but I'm singing 2 of their songs. One of which I didn't perform. I premiered on Metalcast 2.
I remember that. Hey,
Diamond
way
Heart.
back.
Diamond Heart. And that was when
Yeah.
it was only a demo. They had just released it like a couple days prior. And now the full thing's out. They've been playing it for years. That was
I think we
3
had
years ago, Nate.
Damn, that's crazy. We need to do another metal cast because there's a lot of metal to talk about. Like some metal we're going to talk about here in a minute. Before we get to
Yes.
that, the Man of Steel. Have you heard this rumor?
Go.
Okay, so unofficially, a poster leaked. And it's the back of Superman, from what you can tell. It's got a big Superman S. Mm-hmm. And it says Superman, World's Finest. It also in the corners has DC, Warner Brothers, and Rocksteady Games. Meaning, World's Finest, developed by Rocksteady, the people that did Arkham Asylum, Origins, Arkham Knight, Arkham City. They're going to reveal this at the Microsoft press conference. Brainiac will be the main villain. Obviously, other DC heroes will be involved, but it will be a similar kind of game where it's Superman's story, first-person beat 'em up, kind of like Batman, but also being able to fly around your world, And it's also a single-player only game, no multiplayer.
Good.
That's only a rumor now. This has not been officially announced, but that is a rumor coming into E3. So
I think there needs to be more in this age of multiplayer flavor of the week games. I firmly believe there needs to be more story. There needs to be more single player story based games.
Totally.
I am so sick of hearing about PUBG or Fortnite or for the longest time I was sick of hearing about Left 4 Dead, which had a story. It had a single player campaign that you could, or a co-op campaign, but I was so tired of hearing about Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I really loved the Left 4 Dead series, but as somebody who is in the gaming world more, you could definitely get annoyed with how many people were playing that game. Oh my god, gotta play it. And then there was the rumor that Valve had leaked Left 4 Dead 3's title and shit, and then that didn't come to light. Speaking of video game news, did you see that there was a fan casting? I want to get your opinion on this because I want to know right out the gate if you agree with this or not. Certain fans are getting behind the concept of having Dave Bautista be cast as Kratos in God of War.
Interesting. I'm more interested in Jason Momoa playing Viking Kratos.
Ooh, that would be dope.
There was a poster going around saying it was going to be a Netflix series, but I'm like, fake. Have you seen that poster?
No, I need to look it up.
Look it up when you get the chance. It's neat because I mean he's got the scar over his eye, which he kind of already has like a natural scar over his eyebrow, so it makes sense. But I don't know how well he would actually portray Kratos.
Oh, dude, I see it.
yeah,
Holy
right,
shit.
right.
He looks definitely, Netflix original series. He definitely looks better than what the person that did the mock-up of Batista as Kratos.
I haven't seen
made
that
him
one.
look.
I'll
It's-
try to look that up real quick.
Yeah, just search God of War Dave Bautista. You'll find it. So video game news. I don't think I have any more video game news, but to stick with some Marvel-ish news, I sent this in the group a little bit earlier to you, but Marvel and Vans have teamed up. You're shaking your head no because you're seeing Dave Bautista as Kratos.
Yeah, I'm very.
You know, Dave Bautista also has been fan cast to be Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War.
And you know, like I always thought that Marcus Phoenix was Dave Bautista, so that I am completely for that.
Oh, that's amazing. But okay, so back to it. Earlier, I sent you guys a link, and Vans has teamed up with Marvel. Mm-hmm. Have you seen all the shoes?
I saw the ones. Okay, yeah, it's Vans X Marvel. Yeah, we got some Hulk, which the Hulk ones are really cool. I like the slip-on, the Hulk slip-on shoes. It's literally, it's got the
The
checkered
toes.
Yeah, where the toes are busting through. It looks like that's cool. We got a Spider-Man one. We got some Spider-Man flip-flops, slide-on flip-flops. We got some. It's got the like OG fucking comic book illustrations of like all their heads. That one's cool.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
I see a Venom hat. This is
That hat's badass. I didn't notice that the first time around.
This is movie Venom. This is Tom Hardy Venom. What do we got? Oh, we got some Captain Marvel. I see some Captain Marvel shoes.
Yeah, there's some controversy about that.
Oh?
They only go up to size 10 for men. They're one of the only shoes on the site that don't go all the way up to size 13 for men. Mm-hmm. And more sizes are available in women's. And there are people like, hey, we get Captain Marvel's a chick, but all kinds of fandom likes Captain Marvel. And it's ridiculous that I can't get this shoe in my size. It's not my size. I wear a size 9.5. But 13 and up, man, that would be unfortunate if you couldn't get that shoe, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man, there's a kid's version of the Hulk shoes, and I really want to get that for Maverick.
Oh, yeah, those are awesome. The little toesies
But no,
sticking
out. You sent the Deadpool ones.
Oh, man.
And they look awesome.
Sometimes I have the most ridiculous luck. So I've been going down, most people who are privy to the network and what I've been doing, I've been going down helping my dad for like the past 3 years work on his house. We repainted it and did all this shit and, you know, built a new porch and shit and whatnot. Well, this year's like kind of the final hurrah of us working on the house for the foreseeable future. Being that he's also partially like losing his ability to walk. So things are kind of limited to what we can do. So we got to like get the garage together and it needs to be like completely primed down to the original paint and then like actually repainted and stuff. And there's a bunch of shit we had to do. So anyways, I went fucking ham last night into today and just like got a lot of the stuff that needed to get done efficiently, you know, just like got like locked in because I'm like, I'm gonna help my pops out, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I fucking can.
Yeah.
So as I was leaving his house today, I was just mentioning how my New Balance shoes are fucking worn out. Like the sole is ripped off one side because I just wear them to do everything, you know. I mean, not everything. Like I have like other shoes for nicer occasions, but like if I'm mowing the yard, I'm doing that. If I'm working with my dad, I'm using those shoes. Like I use them to work essentially. And I have another older pair of shoes that I like want to turn into my work shoes. And I was like, well, I need to kind of get like a fucking new pair of shoes. I need to get some money together and look around and see what's what. I got home today and Dad had sent me a message. He's like, hey, if you find some shoes, let me know and I'll see what I can do for you. And I was like, oh, you don't have to do that. That's cool. And then he sent me a picture of these Deadpool shoes. And I was like, hey, I was just looking at these. And he's like, I know you like this guy. And I was like, oh, I really do. Yeah, Deadpool's awesome. And he goes, okay, well, they'll be there next week. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, you've been working so hard for me. I wanted to do something nice. So I got you these shoes. And I was like, that's the most fucking incredible thing. Like, these just went on sale today. And he's like, here, a gift.
That's
the thing that gets me about these shoes, man, a couple of the designs that are awesome. The back heel.
See the bottom.
Oh, with the gum?
Yeah.
Super
the
fucking
pink.
hilarious.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about these shoes, they're high tops. I don't like high
Yeah.
tops. Otherwise, I'd totally be into them and get them for myself.
Yeah, but the dude, the bullet that they have, like the bullet casing as the top of the shoe is fucking amazing. They also look kind of like cell shaded, you know, like Borderlands 2 or whatever. Borderlands and whatnot. I fucking dig them, man. I'm super stoked. They've also on the inside got the little throwing star.
Yes.
Just in the graphic. If you guys haven't seen those, man, these shoes are really fucking cool. I'm like nerding out over Marvel shoes. Not really a big shoe guy.
Yeah.
But these just kind of fell in the world. It's funny because I had seen that Marvel was doing the Captain Marvel shoes and was definitely interested in those. But then I saw Dad sent me the other ones. Also, I noticed I after the fact, I was like, oh man, I kind of also would have loved to have the Black Panther ones. Those are radical. Very sleek design.
Where are they? I don't see the Black Panther ones.
Really? Here, I'm going to be a straight up G and a bona fide. You can't teach that. Watch this, Jazz. Bam. Whop. Look in the chat for Skype, my dude, while we're mid-podcast.
Oh, okay. I did see them. Never mind. It doesn't say Black Panther in the thing, so I guess technically none of them actually have the name. It just says Vans X Marvel Skate High. That's all it says.
Yeah, but then the color tells you what the...
I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then I looked at the thing, and it just says Vans X Marvel. I'm like, okay, so it's just like a regular Marvel thing. I wasn't looking at all the other things. Yeah. And then, okay, but it's followed by Black Panther shirts. So I should have just looked.
It's okay. It happens, man.
It happens.
What? Hey, I want to know this thing before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Because this is some stuff that's happened that's comic book related.
Yeah.
The internet and everybody is reacting to this, and I want your reactions.
Yeah, what's up?
Jared Leto's Joker getting a standalone? The fuck?
Oh, man.
Like, they officially announced it going ahead. They are, in fact, doing the standalone Jared Leto Joker storyline.
Well, so I'm not a giant fan of Jared Leto's Joker. I understand that there's a lot of scenes that they left out with him that probably could have made the Suicide Squad movie better, or at least that character better, that portrayal better.
Yeah.
However, like, I do enjoy the theory that he is not the actual Joker, or not, at least not the original Joker. So if they were to go down that road, I would enjoy it a lot more. Like, say he, instead of Jason Todd becoming the Red Hood, he becomes Joker.
Yeah.
I always really loved that theory. But if they don't go that route, if they do just straight up, he's just the Joker, nothing, no crazy theory behind it. I'll watch it. I'll see what happens.
That I can use that as a little bit of a segue. I think I will probably watch the Jared Leto Joker movie just out of curiosity more than anything. But
that's the thing about all these superhero movies is, like, I'm gonna go watch them.
Because you're curious. You want to see what happens.
And, you know, and it's not even that it's a superhero movie. It's just the fact that they're all part of a universe, so I don't want to be left out.
Totally.
I spent
You don't
many
want to be left
years-
out of the experience.
Yeah. I think I've seen every single Marvel movie in theaters since Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sweet.
So that I mean, I had seen I saw Thor, I saw Avengers, I saw Iron Man 2 and 3. I think
Dark World?
that's about all. No, I did not see Dark World in theaters.
Okay,
Luckily.
what about Captain America?
No.
Oh man, that was so good in theaters.
Neither did I see Winter Soldier, but I saw Civil War. So like I said, I saw a few before. I saw Hulk too. I remember seeing Hulk. But from Guardians forward, I saw every movie in order.
Hell yeah. The only one I didn't see in all of the ones that have recently come out was Doctor Strange, unfortunately. Missed
Really?
it in theaters. My biggest regret. I wanted to see it in 3D. We just never got around to it. It's one of those that slipped under the radar. By the time I actually was like, okay, let's go see it, it was already out of theaters. I think Wonder Woman was just about to come out, so it was much too late at that point. But no, man.
I can't like not see something that's part of a bigger universe now. So I'll be seeing Godzilla, the next Godzilla, because King Kong was part of that, and I saw the first Godzilla, so that's a universe. Yeah, I'll go see it. I'll go see that Joker movie.
All right, so before we get out of here, there's one last topic I wanted to cover with you today that we talked about covering, but we have not yet covered.
What's up?
Well, I was, I don't want to call myself sheltered, but I don't always get hyped on bands when people are like, fucking check this fucking band out, man, they're so groovy. Like, I'm fucking into them. I'm always like, okay, whatever, fucking skeptical. I did it with Ghost. I fucking hated the idea of Ghost before I actually, like, listened to their discography, and then I was like, oh, I fucking get it. Like, I understand where they're coming from. Cool.
Diet King Diamond.
Nah, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that.
It's a joke that's been going around because I have a couple friends, Scott and Amanda, who have been on Podcastrophe.
Yeah.
They are huge Ghost fans. And
Oh, yeah.
I just like to rile them up.
Amanda went as Papa
Yes.
Emeritus.
Mama Emeritus.
Mama Emeritus, that's right.
Yeah, she's done that a few times. She went to the Iron Maiden Ghost show as that. Yeah, she's great. She gets so into it. She's a huge. They're both huge Trivium fans. So every time she goes to a Trivium concert, she brings this poster and it says "Becoming the Dragon" and it has Magikarp on it.
I love it. That's amazing.
She wants Matt Heffy to notice it so bad.
Well, yeah. At some point, he's gonna if he keeps seeing the same fucking sign
Right.
over and over and over
Right.
and over. But anyways, you posted in our group, and you posted on your Facebook, and you posted in another group. You were posting a lot, but As I Lay Dying came out with a new song.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Tim Lambesis, I said it right?
Yes.
Okay, was convicted of attempted murder by means of hiring a hitman on his wife.
Solicitation of murder.
Solicitation of murder. Thank you for getting the exact charge. And you could assume that As I Lay Dying was done as a band. You could assume that life for him is pretty much done because you're going away for a long time. Well, he served his time. He was on good behavior and I think got out early, right?
3 years early. Yes.
3
He was
years early
sentenced
because
6.
and he was probably like a model dude in jail. But I'm a big proponent of second chances. You know, you probably won't get a third chance out of me, but second chances I'm all about. So,
A lot of people are up in arms about this.
man,
And
it's a crazy topic.
You're not hearing much from the industry. Jamie Jasta's kind of said his piece. He's like, I'm holding my judgment on the other 4 members. Tim, however, he's not holding back on his judgment. He's already been judged in Jamie Jasta's eyes. He's like, I'm holding my judgment on the other 4. I want to see what happens in their reasoning for rejoining, because all of them were very adamant in saying that they will never work with Tim again. So when all this happened and they left As I Lay Dying, essentially, the only two people that owned any rights to the As I Lay Dying name were Tim Lambesis and their drummer Jordan Mancino, I think.
Okay.
Mancino. So Jordan didn't want anything to do with it, so he's just like, yep, whatever. And all the rest of the other four, they went on with and got a new singer, and they formed a band called Woven War. Very similar to As I Lay Dying musically. However, it featured all clean vocals, no screaming. If there was, it was like maybe one or two lines in the entire first CD. I did not listen to the second CD because the first single was garbage, and I refused to listen to it.
Damn.
Anyway.
You have passed judgment.
Yes. So they released a teaser like a week ago, and the music sounded very classic As I Lay Dying. It was the sound. And people started speculating. They started looking at tattoos on the people that you couldn't quite see. And they're like, that looks like this guy's tattoo. And this looks like the classic lineup. And, or not the classic, but the lineup that they had before they all went their separate ways and Tim went to jail. Where was I going with that? But everybody's like, they said they wouldn't do it. Like, what the hell? And you can't really, I couldn't really count the whole, yes, this sounds like As I Lay Dying. Like, it sounds like them. I couldn't do that because, Tim writes most of the music. Like, it sounds that way because he writes it that way. Very talented guy.
The Steve Harris of his group.
Yes. So he, they were going to release the song today, but due to time zones and whatnot, it released in Japan, and people heard it.
Oh shit! So they were just like,
so they're just like, fuck
out.
it, music video, which confirmed the lineup, which was the actual lineup. So and everybody's like, but nobody said a word. The As I Lay Dying camp is completely silent, hasn't said a word, and everybody's like, why the hell did you go back to Tim? Like, after all he's done and after all you've said, it's like, and you go back, like, what happened? Like, what changed? I mean, and I'm with you. Like, I'm all for second chances. He released like a really lengthy statement in an interview before he was sentenced, and explaining his reasoning, and it's weird explaining his reasoning, but like, you can forgive him for that. Like, fuck your reasoning. You tried to have somebody murder your wife. But then he's also released an apology since getting out. And so it's like, okay, you've apologized, and your future actions are going to be what we look at. So let's see what happens.
Well, it's interesting because I've never listened to As I Lay Dying before any of this. Like, okay, so I'd heard the story of Tim Lambesis. I knew he had, taken money from Kickstarter to like fund this contract killing or whatever.
What?
And right? Yeah, that's true. You didn't know that?
No.
So the last As I Lay Dying, I'm not sure if it was a CD or whatever, right before this all broke out, they were doing a Kickstarter, and some of the money didn't line up with what people were like they were thinking about expenses.
Well,
and there was
I know he did a GoFundMe for the Austrian Death Machine album.
Maybe that's what it was. It was one of those things. But like, it was weird because it was like the timing of everything lined up, and you can't confirm it, but it is definitely possible he used fan money to like fund that. Also, wasn't Tim Lambesis, isn't it like come out that he had been taking steroids in his life?
Yes. And
so
he admitted to that. So part of his reasoning was that he was coming down from the steroids and not on them, and it was just fucking with his mental stability, I guess. He was
totally, and then you
all over the place.
And then you spend fucking 3 years in jail thinking about your shit, man, and it straightens you out, and you don't have that in you anymore, and you're in a different spot altogether.
Did you know he tried to sue the jail, or he tried to sue the court system, because while he was in there, they refused to let him have like his hormone treatments. So he was getting from the steroids, he was super imbalanced, and when your body's super imbalanced, it makes up for that by producing, like, if you have a ton of testosterone, you're gonna, to come down from that, you're gonna produce tons of estrogen. So he grew man boobs. from not being able to have the proper treatment to battle the excess estrogen. And so he tried to sue the fucking jail for not allowing him to take that.
Did he win?
No, I don't think so.
That's
I
crazy.
don't remember, but I don't think so.
So you shared the link for this song, My Own Grave, and I have, like, again, no fucking clue what's going on. I have no idea about this band. I've never actually listened to them. And I fucking clicked on it. I was like, you know what? I like Dick's taste in music. Typically, he knows what's on the button. Like, let's give it a chance. And right out of the gate, I was like, I don't fucking like it. The screaming annoys me. Like, I'm not into it.
I'm not a fan of the screaming in that song, at least in the verses.
Okay, correct. Right. So I was like, right away, like...
It's too fast, and it sounds like he's mumbling. I know he can do better.
Right. So I was just like, okay, I don't know about this style, so I'm just going to... We'll see, is what I was thinking. And We'll See turned into, holy shit, I fucking love this song as the chorus hit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I understood the message of the song. And I was like, man, that is a dude putting his heart and fucking soul out there and literally begging for forgiveness. He's saying, look, I know what I did, and I'm the only one that can be blamed for that. Put it on me. Put it on my fucking shoulders because that's the cross I'm going to bear now, you know? And good on him, man, because it takes fucking balls to want to be out there, and you think, like, God, could they tour as a band without him, like, getting death threats and stuff? Like, there's a whole new world of what the fuck with him doing this, you know? And it's crazy, though, because you think, like, rappers actually, and I hate to sound like this, I'm not trying to be, it's not a race thing, but there are rappers who have killed people who are still rapping, and people love their music, and they killed people. They actually took lives. Dude did not actually successfully take his wife's life in any way, shape, or form. He served his time. He is. It seems like he is on this path of, like, redemption. Like, I'm going to be forgiven someday. So I give him a chance. Fuck it. I liked the song. Ultimately, My Own Grave makes me want to go listen to As I Lay Dying and give them a chance as a band.
Right around the time of, like, him getting arrested and all that, they had just announced, and I had just gotten into them maybe like a month or two prior.
Oh, shit.
So they had announced a tour with Killswitch Engage and Memphis May Fire and another band or two. And so I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to go see this band that I just got into, that I love this album, this last album, Awakened. Came out in 2012, into 2012, and this was spring 2013. And then all of this shit hits, and they dropped off the tour and replaced by my friend's Affiance. So that was cool. I was like, cool. I don't get to see them, but I get to see these guys.
Fuck yeah.
Another fun fact: my friend's band, Across the Sun, actually recorded their full-length album in Tim Lambesis' studio.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. Hey, do you want to know another fun fact about some of your friends in the music world?
What's up?
Your home slice is in Catalytic. The most gangster humans ever. Open for fucking Trivium,
Yes,
bro.
they did. And they told me, they were like, hey, do you want on the guest list? Like, we have a really large guest list. You can get in here for free. I'm like, oh, man. I totally want to, but I didn't.
It was in Fort Wayne.
Yeah. It would have been a drive. I wouldn't have got back till late.
It was a work day.
It was a Tuesday night, and the thing is, I do my show on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday around 5:30 or 6, we live stream. I didn't want to be tired for my show, so
no, man.
I ducked out. I bailed out on it, and it bums me out that I had to do that. And I wanted to go support my boys in Catalytic. I wanted to go see the almighty Trivium. But it is what it is.
Okay, look, with the Catalytic thing, though, from what I've heard, man, they're getting the praise they deserve. Like, people are taking notice of them. They were like, you should have been on this tour. Like, you should be a part of this. Like, fuck yeah, those dudes deserve it. Those guys are nice dudes. Dustin, I think I've at least interacted with once, maybe. Dustin,
there's two of them in the band.
There's two Dustins?
There's the guitarist, and then there's the singer, Dustin Stroll and Chavez.
Chavez is the one I met.
Okay.
Okay,
He's usually the one that does the talking for the band. He's the He's the main guy.
Yeah, man. So shout out to those dudes for kicking ass and taking names. Got to support the local dudes that get those opportunities. They've
always been great. They've really good friends of mine. They've always been good to me. They're always a treat to watch.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Well, Mr. Tyner, is there anything else we want to tackle before we call this thing a day?
Man. Yeah, I want to say just check out that new As I Lay Dying song, My Own Grave. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great, fresh rebirth.
I love it too. Rebirth is nice because it gives you an opportunity to see something different. Like I said, I'm checking this band out for the first time. This is my first exposure, and knowing what I know, I'm a fan of the music. I'm going to give this dude a chance to be himself and prove himself in society. If he becomes a scumbag again, well, fooled me twice, shame on me.
Yeah. He actually has a master's in theology. Like he studied.
Damn, that's crazy.
He studied like Christian theology.
Damn.
As I Lay Dying was a Christian band.
What?
Yeah. And the last album, Awakened, is actually about him stepping away from the Christian religion and losing his faith, which is one of the things that prompted me to kind of ditch Christianity and why I actually got the Awakened tattoo on my inner arm.
Badass.
Because I wanted something to symbolize that. You know, it was important to me, which is... It was such a big... It wasn't a huge part of my life, but I felt like it was a big part of my life to lose it. To stop believing in the Christian God and Jesus. Not that I'm against that. I say if you believe in that and it's not hurting anybody and you're not using that to hurt anybody, you're not pushing it on anybody, then go you. If it's something that brings you solace and fulfillment in your life, go for it. But it's not for me.
Dude, well fucking said, man. Because I feel the exact same way, you know. Religion is not my bag. I've seen it destroy people. I've seen it fucking permanently affect and damage people that I care about and love very much. So, you know, and I've also seen religion fail me right in front of my own eyes, seeing terrible things happen. So, but I'm the same as you. You know, if it's not hurting anybody and you're not trying to push it on people and you want to believe in your religion, go you. Sure. Just don't throw it at everybody else because that's when shit gets fucked up.
Yeah, it's funny. Like years ago, I was talking to this girl from Tinder, and we were talking about tattoos, and she's like, "Yeah, I got the only tattoos I have are these dates." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what do they signify?" And she's like, "Oh, this is the day I became born again." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I just a few years ago got out of it." She's like, "Yeah, whatever suits you. I mean, whatever fulfills you." And I'm like, "Wow, I never thought of it that way. Like, what fulfills you?" So, like, I've never been one to speak out against religion. Like, there are people out there that are like hardcore against religion, and they will like laugh in your face that you believe in God. And I'm like, I'm not about that. So it's like, it's whatever brings you peace, whatever fulfills your life.
I think it's time and a place.
Yeah.
If someone's being an asshole to me about their religion, I'll be an asshole right back about how their religion is bullshit,
definitely.
and I'll poke holes in it like fucking Swiss cheese. Yeah. But if someone's being nice and kind, I'm not gonna shit all over them. That's just being an asshole.
Yeah,
trying to help anybody out. All right, well, folks. As always, you can check the Journey into Comics podcast out at journeyintocomics.com. You can get us on all the different podcasting platforms, whether it's iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music. We are now on Spotify. Also, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/journeyintocomics. For $1, you get early access, and for $3, you get early access and exclusive content, meaning that as soon as our episode is done being edited, you get it in your ear holes before anybody else on release day. And then also that means if you're giving us the $3, that you're getting stuff that no one else hears, like the soon-to-be-launched Patreon-exclusive show, Brews with Babes, officially. Lauren's making it happen.
Hell yeah.
So
for $100, you get silicone mold of my penis, and Tyler's comes with that. It's just a tickler. It's a tiny little thing.
Buy one, get one free.
Yep. $100.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. I can't wait for someone to pledge $100 and for me to have to text you like, well, guys...
Oh, Miranda,
time to fucking keep your end. Time to keep your end of the bargain, motherfucker. Someone has come through, especially if they put like, want Dick's dick, And Tyler's too also, I guess. You know?
It's just a little tickler. That's all it is. I mean, nothing to get excited about, but it's
It's
there.
the
It's part of
warm-up.
it.
It's the warm-up.
So,
It's like an hors d'oeuvre.
yeah.
It's like the amuse-bouche of sex.
God.
I don't know if you know what an amuse-bouche is.
I don't.
It's an entire flavor profile of food in one singular bite. Literally, it's built on a spoon, and you eat it in one bite. It's called a amuse-bouche, yes. That's a foodie thing to tie it all back in there with the loss of Mr. Bourdain. R.I.P. Chef. This one sucks. It definitely is hard being a guy who has been influenced by Anthony Bourdain's cooking style and his fearlessness of going around the world and trying new foods and not, holding back. I'm pretty sure Anthony Bourdain did a fucking episode of Hot Ones, man. And it was amazing. Fuck yeah, it was a fucking amazing. Of course he did Hot Ones. He loved it. I'm pretty sure it was like season 4. I'll find that and send it to you. But
Okay.
I think that's going to do it for today, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
For those listening, every Wednesday around 5:30 or 6 on the Podcastrophe Facebook page, we are live. And
Live
you can
streaming.
You can come in, watch us be jackasses. You can comment on it. We'll respond to your comments. You can ask questions. We'll answer them. So join us.
Oh, I love that plug. Obviously, check out the Podcastrophe podcast every Thursday right here at Journey into Comics Network.
The next day.
The very next day. I love how that works out now. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Journey into Comics. This has been episode 195, Robo Tots. I have been Nate.
And I'm Dick.
And we will see you guys later. As always, take it easy, be breezy, and fill your brains with shit. Later.
Yee! Yee!